Inserting error bars to an Excel graph. This example works for both situations in which the independent variable may be continuous data, such as measurements of temperature in an enzyme kinetics experiment, so this would mean 5 different temperatures. Equally, this works where we have perhaps 5 samples on a discontinuous independent variable. We're doing here a comparative study. You're comparing 5 ecological samples, for example. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, you can see here here we have the 5 samples, and the raw data is published in these vertical columns. And the first thing we're going to do for the dependent variable is to calculate the arithmetic mean. And then in this example I've chosen to calculate the standard deviation. Well, there's no reason why this can't be replaced by standard error or confidence limits, or indeed a simple max-min graph as well. Okay, so let's move this down. We can see this calculation has already been performed. So in Excel I calculate the mean on this line here for the 5 samples, and underneath I've calculated the standard deviation, and we keep it in these 2 rows. Okay, so we're going to plot our graph. The first thing to do is to select the means, these ones here, select those, and then we're going to go to insert a graph, a scatter graph, and that would produce a graph that looked like this. In this particular graph, the axes have not been formatted, and this would be very important to finish off with. Having created our scatter graph, the next thing we're going to do is click on the points so that we can select them, then go to layout, and then go to error bars. Then we select at the very bottom error bar options, and then we go to, so we've got more error bar options, and here we select both. The idea is that we're going to have the mean, and it's going to plot the +1 standard deviation and -1 standard deviation. But equally, this could be standard error, or these values could be the max, and these values here could be the min. We're going to then custom here, and then specify the values that we wish to place around our mean, which then presents this box here. And here, this is going to be the plus value, so we'll select our standard deviation, +1 standard deviation. Then we repeat that for the values here. That's now going to be the -1 standard deviation, and the effect is this. So each of the means is now shown with a +1 standard deviation and a -1 standard deviation. To complete the graph, we would then have to add the necessary annotation to the x-axis here and the y-axis here to complete the formatting of the graph, and of course a suitable title at the top.